Hey guys. So yesterday I guess Centurion was released and to this I say no idea how this deck should be played. So I've been messing around with like the deck in general and I can say proudly no idea what to do here. Pretty confusing deck. And the confusion is pretty simple. So first thing is this deck is really good at noticeably making level 12 synchro monsters. Uh, Small issue. Well, we'll start with this. So, in terms of synchro 12s, do we have that many good options? I would say no. And also worth checking out here is I think I forgot to dismantle this maybe because this is banned now, and I think I might have had one. So might as well check. Uh, no, I don't have one. Okay, we're good. But in general, th we're playing like Despy and Lulu with Lilith, and as far as I can tell, there are no like super useful synchro 12s that we can make, but we can cheat out any synchro 12 we want with Crimson Dragon, which is neat, and it also recycles itself. So that's kind of cool, but you'd have to play multiple 12s. So notably, you can cheat out like Red Nova, you can cheat out Shooting Quasar as well, and yeah, that's about it, right? I don't think we really have a good option for like the TG cards because of their effects requiring them to essentially be summoned correctly and all that. So that's just how that works, I guess. And just for funsies, I put Supreme King Sark Synchro Universe in because technically I can cheat this out with the Crimson Dragon as well. Does this card do anything? No, not in the slightest, but it is funny. And sometimes that's more than enough for me. So starting with not knowing how to deck build it with it, so we'll start off with this. We have 15 extra deck slots, okay? And I guess I have things I can cut, like starting with Supreme King Zark, Synchro Universe. Cut that, we can cut Cross Sheep and Arrival, so that's like 3 extra deck slots. And then we could maybe cut Blackwing Full Armor Master as well. But what I've just gotta say is Centurion, this has made me think so much more about uh, deck building than a lot of decks in a long ass time. Because there's just so many different elements to consider. It's actually wild. And also, I think I was supposed to cut this, but I forgot. Oh well, this card's kind of funny. It doesn't really do that much, but I guess I'll read it. During the main phase, if a monster you control leaves the field by an opponent's monster effect, except by being destroyed, activate one of these effects. End the main phase or skip main phase 1 of your opponent's next turn. You can only activate 1,000,000 Century Ice Prison per turn. Not that useful, but it's kind of funny, I guess. And then, continuing on. So, uh, well, actually, there was one other thing before we continue. Didn't mean to say this. If you guys have, like, a copy of Bonfire you guys don't want, keep in mind we can dismantle them for 30. We get the refund on a Bonfire. But, okay. Now that I finally remembered to get that out of the way. So, interestingly enough, the deck is fairly consistent, so if we just do a random test hand, this will not be a break. Pretty much guaranteed. Yep. We have 2 starters here, and then we have 3 copies of Wake Up Centurion, which we should be playing at 2, technically, I believe, to match our 2 copies of Fringo Worm here, but it's fine. Even if we play 1, it's probably not that bad. Not really sure. In Pure, I guess playing like 2 or 3 makes sense, but okay. The primary thing about Centurion that's awkward, firstly, we have a distinct lack of tuners. None of these guys become like tuners or anything. like that, and you can't really make any super good tuners here. Unless we have some good synchro tuner that I was not aware of. Might as well check it out then. Oh, right. For 8, the only one that exists is going to be either Sigma or Diablantis. In which case, what do you make with Diablantis? I think you can send uh Dangly or whatever it's called. Right. Dangly, the Soldier of Palm. And then this is a level 1 tuner. So not really sure what we can make with that. Uh it's not like a good type or anything with Diablantis, so I don't think that gets us anywhere. And we can turn Diablantis into like a level 8 tuner, which then we can do what with? Uh, Nothing, I guess. So that's not really a good play. So yeah, we don't have good access to tuners when we're playing just Centurion Fear. So trying out like playing Ringoworm and Blackwing Sharnga the Waning Moon. So with Sharnga here, we have an interesting idea if we're allowed to get this far. I'm not sure how many cards this would take, but uh, we can summon Sharnga, and then we can summon an 8, like Gargoyle here, or MF. And then this allows me to make Blackwing Full Armor Master, and then I'll have Sharnga's effect to pop. And then we have the idea of going into our Crimson Dragon to float into the Baron by targeting Full Armor Master or whatever this does. Speaking of which, I guess worth mentioning is the only time you get locked in this deck is specifically with Emblema Oath. So this is the only card that Centurion locks you. And I also don't understand how these cards work fully, and I'll explain my confusion in a second, but um, place one Centurion monster from your deck in your spell and trap zone. It's a face-up continuous trap. For the rest of this turn, while you control that card or any card with the same original name, you cannot special summon from the extra deck except for Centurion monsters, but you are still allowed to special summon in general. So if I want to, I don't know, say summon Nibiru after I did Oath, I can. And then there's set one Centurion spell trap directly from your deck. So Oath, instead of doing this effect though, we can actually just do stand up Centurion effect and set stand up Centurion, flip this over. That will be activated and we'll be able to place either Primera or True Dea. And that just kind of works, right? And if we do it this way, we'll want to be playing a Wake Up Centurion, because then we'll be able to special summon a token and then summon our Primera. So imagine this one card line. We go Oath, Field Spell, and then we grab, specifically we want True Dea here, and then we place Primera from our deck, and then Primera will search Wake Up effect, we'll special summon a token, and then we can summon a level 8 token specifically, and then go Primera plus token to make 12. In this case, we'll probably make either Centurion Auxilla, or we can make Centurion Legadia. And with Legadia, what we can do after this is, after we resolve Wake Up Centurion, this actually has an effect to do a Foolish Burial, and we can send Centurion Phalanx. And if we would need to actually keep one of these guys, so we want either Legatia or Auxilla. The fact that we care about here is that we can place one of our non-synchro Centurion monsters that is banished or in your graveyard, in your spell and trap zone, as a face-up continuous trap. So in this case, we're going to be placing back Primera, and then Primera is going to be able to be used alongside the field spell with the True Dea that we have to make another Synchro 12. the next turn, and this is a one card combo. So for a one card combo, not that insane. But did we normal summon? No. So we have that going. And for this combo line specifically, what's interesting is that you are truly synchro locked. And with the Centurion stuff, you for the most part can only do synchro things with them. Kind of. That is considering if we only had Centurion cards. If we have other cards, we can do other things. So just for example, there is the idea of that token is not allowed to be uh, used as fusion or link material, but we can still tribute the token if we really want to. And also, it does not require us to use Centurion Primera with the token to synchro summon something. So we could synchro summon like a level 7 if we had a level 3 tuner for whatever reason. So maybe a normal summon Ash Blossom Driftspring. In this case, we could pop Field Spell technically and grab a different one. So a lot of ideas. Another thing worth noting, because there are a lot of things worth noting in this deck, is this is pretty neat, I guess. So we have a 1.6k attack line, 1.6k defense line, light spellcaster. That is what Centurion Primera is. And this is pretty interesting because of two reasons. So this is a level 4 light spellcaster, which is able to make Desvian Lulu while Lilith. And then the other thing, of course, being that we have this effect of Desvian Lulu while Lilith. This card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn. You can special summon a light spellcaster monster from your hand or deck whose attack equals its own defense, which Primera, of course, is, right? Okay, so now for the weird part. Okay, then. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one Centurion card from your deck to your hand, except for Centurion Primera. Also, you cannot special summon Centurion Primera for the rest of this turn. So, if we summon Primera, activate the effect of Primera, then this will mean we can't summon it off of Desvian Lulu Walilith, and that would be our only target. Oh, and then the other thing is, none of these cards have anything in common, really. So they have like levels, but this is a Pyro Dark Monster. And wait, this is a Pyro? This changes things. Oh. Wait a second. Wow. We can search Trudea off of Bonfire. I learn something new every time I look at these cards. Goddamn. Alright. Then we have like Centurion MF, which is an Earth Machine. And then we look at Centurion Gargoyle 2 here. Dark Dragon. And then if we look at Auxilla, Dark Dragon, and then Legadia, Light Machine. So for the most part, I guess the only commonality we have is Gargoyle and Auxilla being Dark Dragons, and that is the only one. They're just whatever type at this point, essentially. But this leaves us with the question of, first off, I suppose we can start with this. Emblema Oath is not a Centurion card. Why? Literally no clue why, but it just isn't one, so you better open it, I guess. And then the fact that this deck, actually, if we just don't even worry about the Oath, how many starters do we have now? Since I just found out we have Bonfire, this is essentially, I guess, +2. So we could even throw these in for now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait, 6. And then this is 8, 11, 14? We have 14 starters here. All one-card starters. The only thing that's, like, I guess not that great is that, only these 6 cards here allow us to not require our normal summon. Woe is me. Wow. So even if we take out Bonfire though, we're at still 12 cards. That are just 1 card starters, just purely 1 cards. And I guess worth mentioning is that we can search the field spell like in a variety of ways. So I'm not 100% sure what we can do with this, but just one example I'll make here is we just got Magic Spectre support and quick effect. This is useless. But if this card is special summoned via whatever, add a field spell, then discard 1 card. And as we know, this is just combo pretty much by itself, right? And we can abuse like Electromite and Promethean Princess together to kind of get some materials to maybe do something with the Majesty Pegasus. Not 100% sure, but whatever. Good enough. And then we have stand-up Centurion now, and then we can just do a little bit of combo. So the downside here clearly is that, okay, this sure is a 1-card combo, but this is worse than, for example, I have Melfi Wally in my hand, so I'll just special summon Melfi Wally and it'll do stuff next turn, so it's kind of worse than that. So let's just quickly do a little bit of a showcase. So let's go ahead and enter the danger files here. But it's kind of hard to explain here, but there's like a billion different little ruling things that it makes this annoying. So we have combo with our copy of Trudea. Ratios, I'm still not even completely sure. But we can place a card from either our hand or deck, which is nice, I guess. So here we'll go Primera. And then we want to probably grab the field spell here, honestly. It's not bad. So we'll go with that one. And we do have somewhat good discards. We can discard Phalanx and Emeth. Balance effect here is pretty annoyingly weird. So we can use this on our own monsters or our opponent's monsters, but it's kind of jank because this will trigger certain effects again. And if we use this to target a boss monster, it'll just be summoned again. Unless we were to lock ourselves out of summoning. Maybe. Maybe that works. So oh yeah, this deck, Ruling Nightmare, which I don't understand fully, but okay, we have target 1 face-up monster card on the field, banish it. If you do, during the standby phase of this next turn, special summon that banished monster to its owner's field. So we lock ourselves out of special summoning, for example, then nothing really happens, I guess, right? And this deck is genuinely just a Ruling Nightmare. Well, if we have this effect as well, I guess. We can't activate this on the same turn, but there's just so many ruling things. With all of these cards, it's kind of nightmarish. Well, let's just cover this card, I guess. So, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Centurion Synchro monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but loses 1,500 attack. So I'll tell you how many things this actually bypasses. So starting with, for example, if we have Tearlament Crime, you can't activate Crime against the graveyard effect here. And this actually allows us to potentially do some chain blocking if we can do a trigger effect on summon. If you have one. I don't know if you would have one necessarily with Centurion, but if you have some sort of trigger like that, we could fully do Phalanx effect to special summon Legadia, and then we go chain 1 Legadia, chain 2 whatever. In this case, we can do like stand-up Centurion, so these also can't be negated by Crime. So let's say we have Primera on our field here for whatever reason. We have a copy of Phalanx, we have a copy of Legadia. We will go chain 1 Phalanx, chain 2 Legadia, or not Legadia, chain chain 2 Primera, and then that will allow us to special summon Legadia, chain to that, so with Primera, and then that's chain blocked, and you can dodge that. And also, the summon of our monster cannot be negated because it already kind of happened because Phalanx resolved, right? That's how it works. It's like how you can't negate something that is summoned off of Branded Fusion, like the summon, anyways. So that's how it works. So in a new chain, you cannot negate a special summon that happens like via a trap or a spell, if that kind of makes sense, right? So like kind of hard to explain, but like let's say for example we have Branded Fusion, we can Solemn Judgment Branded Fusion, but if we try to wait for after Branded Fusion resolves in special summons like Albion, we cannot Solemn Judgment that Albion because it was going to be summoned. But I believe, can we negate something else? No, that only negates spell traps, not monster effects. So then Albion effect to special summon as well will not be able to be Solemn Judgmented, and it just keeps going. And until they make Mirror Jade, which you also cannot really negate the summon of or do anything to with like a Solemn Judgment. So, ruling moment. And then with Trudea, another ruling moment, I suppose. A lot of these cards have uh conditions where they cannot be special summoned again. But also, you can summon them multiple times. So with Primera, this might come up like once in a blue moon. So you actually have to somewhat think about this, but okay, let's say we have Primera here and we have enough like gas to do some things with. So when I summon Primera, it'll probably be a normal summon, I guess. If I were to normal summon Primera, or maybe even if I were to, well, I guess, yeah. If I were to normal summon Primera, I will not activate the effect, and then later, let's say maybe we have specifically the Centurion bonds in my hand, then I can place back the copy of Primera, and I would not have activated the second effect yet, and then I can just do this to special summon Primera, and then trigger the effect to search later, and I can summon Primera twice that way. So that's just kind of a thing. And that applies mostly, I believe, to actually this card, Centurion Gargoyle 2 here. So the thing about this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material. You can add this card to your hand. So let's say we using the effect of some card, I guess in this case it could be Stand Up Centurion. What we can do here, we'll discard Driver, then we'll grab Gargoyle. So if we special summon Gargoyle here, we're allowed to do this. So we don't need to activate that effect unless we're chain blocking. But I guess also worth mentioning now is that if we have like Primera getting special summoned at the same time as a different monster, so if we have like chain 1 Trudea, chain 2 like Primera, we can like always chain block for Ash on the Primera. So that's a little bit strong, I guess. But let's go Auxilla here now. We should consider discarding Emeth, I guess. But this also chain blocks, which is pretty cracked, but okay, Gargoyle effect. And then here, what we can do is we can search something. So in this case, I guess we'll grab like Omni Negate, sure. And then we'll set this, whatever, and then we can Gargoyle here. And this has the effect to send a card. So we'll do send that one. And this is special summon twice. So the general rule, I guess, is if you use their effect, whatever their effect is, you cannot specials. Well, that effect will tend to special summon, search, or do something, whatever that effect is. If you do that effect for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon your Centurion monster. The same one cannot be special summoned again if you activate their effect specifically. And also, they can only be activated during the main phase. And also, I have no idea how these cards work exactly because they have really confusing wording. So we'll just use Auxilla as an example. Face-up cards in your spell and trap zone cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Centurion Auxilla once per turn. If this card is special summon, you can add one Centurion card from your deck to your hand. During the end phase, you can place one of your non-synchro Centurion monsters that is banished from your graveyard in your spell and trap zone as a face-up continuous trap. And real quick, I have to check these. This one cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects while you control a Centurion monster card. And this one says, well, this card is a continuous trap level 5 or higher. Centurion monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. So, I don't know how this works exactly. But my opponent attempted to like duster me when I had Auxilla in the spell and trap zone. And as far as I am aware, I did not have any cards that should have protected my Centurion macro cards or whatever, except for Auxilla. So what we did was I used Emeth to put the Auxilla in the spell and trap zone. And then Auxilla here, I'm pretty sure this protected itself and every other card in my spell and trap zone. So then I was confused and I was thinking, wait, does this also work? No idea, right? So during the end phase, this has never triggered. Well, this was a spell trap for me, but okay. Does that mean then the continuous effect on our Legadia also applies? Your monsters with 2000 or less attack cannot be destroyed by battle. I think that one's easier to test, but I guess that's probably the case. Our monsters with 2000 or less attack cannot be destroyed by battle. If this is in the macro, I think maybe. Not even certain if this is like a bug or a feature, but like that's just the thing that happened to me recently, I guess. And yeah, so this will set up for next turn as well. Place one of your non-synchro Centurion monsters to bench from your graveyard. That's a continuous trap. Yep, so we do that with Primera. And then this is like just interaction, I guess. There's just a billion like little different lines and things you can do with Centurion, I guess. So here we can do like Omni Negate. We can do the effect here to summon Primera. And it's just a lot. So I don't really want to think about it right now, so we'll just surrender for the time being. And okay. A whole lot to think about, right? So starting with options, if we summon Trudea, or if we summon, let's see which one it was. We summon Gargoyle, or we summon Trudea. We can adjust the level. We can adjust Trudea up, or we can just not adjust Trudea at all. So we can also make Synchro 8s using these guys, or we can make Synchro 10s. So if I have like Charnga, I can adjust this to 8, or I can keep this at 4. So that's also level 6 synchros. So lots to think about in that regard. And there's also the idea of making rank 4s and rank 8 monsters. So we can do like Trudea plus Gargoyle, or just any of these three, and we can make rank 8. If we want to make rank 4, we can use like these two, or these two, and we can do some rank 4 plays. And what I was so shocked about earlier is I realized something. Okay, so we can play these guys with this card. And this is interesting because this allows us to do like uh, Primera, Gargoyle, and then we can make Banshee, detach one, take one Pyro monster from your deck, either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. So in this case, it shouldn't fully matter, depends exactly what you have, but okay. Let's say we just grab Trudea, add it to our hand, we can normal summon this now, technically, right? And then this will allow us to set itself plus another card, I guess. If we wanted to do that, we can potentially do that, which is confusing. And then we can do some things with Infernal Flame Banshee, like we can go into the XYZ armored stuff. And also, this allows us to technically add like Poplar and then do a Snake Eye line. Believe it or not, that is on the table. And there are just so many options. The other day when I was like testing the stuff out on the rank ladder a little bit, I was in Master 1, of course, so a little bit awkward, but a good amount of people were messing around with Centurion, and everyone was playing like a different build. Some people were like cutting certain cards, some people were playing more of certain cards. Like, for example, I am playing Wake Up Centurion, some people were playing it, some were not. And then some people were playing Dragon Link with this for some reason. And I'm very confused, to say the least, with this. But yeah, all of this is very confusing with the rulings and things you have to like start considering, and all of the like somewhat hidden text that's on the card. So did you guys know that this is quick effect on your opponent's turn for some reason? And we can only activate these during the main phase, so uh pretty jank, like the continuous trap effects here. But uh what we can do is we can put Primera in here immediately in the spawn trap zone and then resummon the Primera. Because this is during your opponent's turn at any point in time, weirdly enough, and not during the main phase only. I mean, it doesn't particularly matter, but it's just like, okay, that's a thing, I guess. And then all of the spells and traps here, aside from like this Omni Negate, these cards all weirdly have a banish effect as well in the graveyard. Sometimes not. I guess like Emblem of Oath doesn't have one, but Wake Up Centurion has the effect to Foolish Burial any Centurion card. So we could technically send like Emeth, we can send Bonds, we can send Phalanx, but also Bonds has its own effect. You would bash this card, then target one Centurion monster in your graveyard, place it in your spawn trap zone as a face-up continuous trap. So this is if a Centurion monster is special summoned. And this one is you can only use each effect. Hard once return, as well as this one, meaning you can use both effects, but with Phalanx, we can't do like Phalanx effect to banish and then effect to summon a Centurion Synchro in the graveyard. Speaking of which, to get your Centurion Synchro cards into the graveyard, you would have to be playing one of two things. You would either do True Awakening, or you would need to do Gargoyle 2's effect to send. Well, this is a cost actually, but you get the idea. So one of those two methods can send for like the Phalanx, and then the Phalanx special summon can allow you to summon Legatia, and it can allow you to summon the Auxilla. And of course, worth noting is that this will protect itself from being destroyed by battle. And we can have a little bit of a Tower Z situation going on here, where your cards are not going to be destructible by card effects, and also not destructible by battle, which is jank. And then your spell and trap zone cards will not be destructible by Auxilla. So destruction, not super good against this for some reason. Sometimes, which is pretty confusing, I guess. But okay, it is what it is. And I mean, the deck in general is pretty jank, so just certain well-timed interruptions can completely obliterate the deck. I mean, the worst thing that you could do is probably like, if we special summon Primera, then likely we won't have another Primera in hand to normal summon, but if Primera essentially just gets like destroyed and removed from the field, uh, you can't access a lot of things, so that is kind of doomed. But the fact that we can also make like rank 8s, rank 4s, and also we can min-max the engine as well. Like we could play one Primera, one True Dea, and just focus on the Oath and stand up Centurion. As like our play, we could do that. And we could play tuners that are different levels from these ones. So we could say, let's say, play with like Punk as well. And then we have like some extra non-tuners to play around with. So that's just a thing. So like if we did Primera and we have Frudea, then we can do a Primera effect to add Wake Up. So we can go activate Wake Up and then just summon Trudea afterwards to make a guy. And then we can make like another 12 on the next turn. And we can still use like our Punk cards or whatever. So that is just a lot to take in. And that means we have a lot of different build options that we can do. Just for example, though, I guess one of the options we can technically do is Orchest, because why the hell not? You know, we can discard Harp or our stand-up Centurion. And we can technically, there are 2 or more cards in this card's column. Beat this card as a tuner this turn. We can use Girsu, like normal summon Girsu, turn this into a tuner, send Harp Horror. As wild as that sounds, we can just do this. And then that's just the full combo, right? And we will be Dark Locked whenever we activate Harp, but we don't get locked by Centurion, so that's just a combo we could do. We just finish our Centurion stuff after this, and we can do as we please, pretty much, right? And we could technically even keep Primera on the field, because the field spell allows us to special summon, specifically Synchro, if we use a Centurion monster. So we can make essentially anything, really. So let's say I have a level 1 non-tuner for whatever reason, so we have like DD Crow, and I special summon Primera. Okay, now I can make I don't know, like whatever Synchro 5s exist. Like I don't know. I think Junk Speeder or whatever is generic, so we could make that. We can make Junk, well, not Junk Warrior because it requires Junk Synchro, but it's just the general idea, right? That we can do completely nonsensical things like that. And yeah, this has got me like so lost in the sauce that I have no idea what to do with Centurion at this point. So I guess it'll have to be another video where I go through all the different options and things you can do with Centurion, but a few things to end on. First off, these guys are completely fine under like a shifter. That doesn't actually really matter, doesn't affect us too hard with Centurion because well, it does affect the graveyard effects of things like Wake Up Centurion, Centurion Bonds, Phalanx, but it does not affect Auxilla. And if we were to like Fissure, we're completely fine because we can, for some reason, place banished Centurion monsters. So if Primera got banished, we can just we can still place it. So that is cool, I guess. I suppose. Sure. And then we have the fact that we're level 12 means we can actually hard make Typhon and hard make Zeus, which I haven't gotten a chance to do yet, but I think that would be funny to do. And we could do that with like the XYZ armored stuff, which would be funny at least. And also, the amount of special summons you do can be really minimized, so we can just like special summon Primera, get stand up Centurion, summon like Gargoyle or something, and then we will have special summoned 3 times, and then we can just pass on like maybe some hand traps and stuff. So that we're okay under like Shifter and Maxi. It's not like the best thing in the world, not the worst thing in the world. Like specifically against Maxi and Shifter, Kashtira plays through it better. So Shifter does literally nothing to that deck. Actually, it does a little bit. It annoys you if you have like a Theosis, because sometimes you want to banish like your Theosis with like Tier Cash to add like a card back, and sometimes you can't do that under Shifter with like the hand you were dealt with, you know? So that's like moderately annoying. But aside from that, like if we do special summon Unicorn and you did not Maxi in draw phase, we can go add Theosis special summon Fenrir, and then normal summon Rise Heart effect, or whatever, and then we just make a Rise Heart. And that is essentially just going to be 2 special summons for your Maxi, so that's overall a +1, and this would overall be like a +2. Which may or may not be enough to beat the deck, depending on what else you're playing alongside it. So, pretty damn confusing to think about in a lot of regards. So, yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. And I'll see you guys in the next video, where hopefully we can start talking about all the different cards you can play with this, because yeah, you know what? You can actually play this with Kashtira, because, you know, Arise are banished like Romero, who cares? And also, you're not getting locked out of either half here. And they're also like 1-card combos. So, and you could play this. Yeah, because why not, I guess. So, yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.